Hello YouTube, I'm Sai Haridas and today we'll be looking at how to debug Java applications using Eclipse IDE. So debugging is the most important thing on a day-to-day basis for any developer. So let's get started with debugging mode. So here I wrote a small program, and if you look at the program, what the program is doing is it's basically defining a variable a whose value is 10, defining another variable b whose value is 20, and it is passing on these two values to a method, and the method is here. That method is basically summing up those two variables and returning the result. So let's run the program and see what the output is. So it is saying 35, but 10 plus 20 we all know is 30. So there is some problem in the method, or somewhere in the code there is a problem. Since this is a small code, we can probably go over step line by line and figure out where the problem is. But in an enterprise, when you're working, you'll have typically a file. Some files which are not well written can go up to like thousands of lines. So in that case, the debug mode comes into picture, and it is really handy. Let's see how to solve or figure out where the culprit is with the help of debug mode. So to do that, let's say right click and debug as Java application, and then say yes. I put a breakpoint here. You have to put a breakpoint. Let me say yes here. And in order to enable breakpoint, all you have to do is double click on the left column. Okay, and if your numbers are not showing up, all you have to do is right click here on the column and say show numbers, or in my case it was already shown, so that's all you have to do. And you can toggle or untoggle the breakpoints by just double clicking here. So that's how you enable breakpoint. So let's understand the debug now. So here we have few icons, and these are the icons which will depend on. F5 stands for stepping into. So we'll see what that is. Here we have step over. Step over means execute the line and just go to the next line. So here we'll start with step over. If I can click on this icon, or I can use F6. So I'll just use F6 here. So here we have few other windows. Let's see what those are. One is variables window, which shows what variables have been defined and the value. On the left side of this window you have variable name, and on the right side you have the actual value. And as in how I go over the lines, you can see that the variables are showing up here and the corresponding values are showing up on the right. So now if I say F6 at this point, it will directly go to the next step. Let me show you that. If I say F6, we still really don't know what the sum method did. If I hit F6 again, it will just print. So, and F6, it will just finish the termination. So in order for us to know what is there inside the sum method, let's do again here, debug as Java application, and we'll hit F6 normally, F6, and in this case, instead of hitting F6, we'll hit F5, which means stepping into the method. Let me hit F5. So it goes into the method. Now we want to understand at what step it went wrong. So here I can still again say F6. So here it says sum is 30. So another way you can check the value is you can go to expressions and you can copy the value and say watch expression. So here and you can say sum. So if you have long expressions in your code, instead of going through variables and manually figuring out the actual combined value of those variables, you can just copy the very particular expression. You can just say show in click on this watch expression. It will automatically start showing up here. The cool part of this is you can also play around with this and add things like plus or plus 2 is what. It will show you these. It won't actually change the value here in the execution, but it will show you what would be the end result be if you make a change to that expression. So that is the cool thing about these expressions. So for now, let's see that we have some value which is nothing but 30, and sum plus 5 is 35. So we can pretty much understand that somebody is intentionally or unintentionally adding 5 to the sum. Okay, and we can just say F6 and return, and at this point we have the result value, which is 35. So we know that this is the method which is called this is the line that is causing the problem. In order to solve this problem, we can say just comment out that part which has a problem. Okay, we can actually do it much cleaner, but we know that this plus 5 is causing a problem. So just comment out that part and end the statement with a semicolon and save it. Okay, and now we are not really interested in going further with the previous execution. So we have two options. Either we can say F8, or we can just click on terminate, which is this red button. So F8 is resume button. I'll show you again. If you say debug as Java application, if you see this is resume, which is F8, that means that it just goes to the next breakpoint. Wherever you have the next breakpoint, it just directly goes to the breakpoint. F8 or resume button goes to the next breakpoint. So let's see if we fix the issue. And let's say F5 and A plus B, which is 30, assigned to sum, and the sum is assigned to result, and result comes back, and we print it, and there we fix the issue. That is how we debug and fix the code. So another thing is I said terminate. So terminate generally we use when we see that there is some kind of problem with the way the code was built. We know that we wrote code and it was not built properly or cleaned properly. At this point, we'll click the terminate button to terminate the execution. That ends our quick Java tutorial. I hope you found this exciting and interesting. So follow along and do subscribe to get more updates on Java tutorials. Thank you.